Hi there, welcome to my views and news, two news stories. Those who criticize me, be ready. I am going to remind you what you've been saying and what I've been reporting in these two news stories. Firstly, Somalia has changed its position about talks with Ethiopia. A clear change. Somalia has been refusing to talk to Ethiopia since January, but position has been changed. Somalia entering into talks with Ethiopia. Secondly, Amhara conflict in the Amhara region. You know that a few days ago, a 15-member committee was formed to convince Fano and government to enter into talks. The 15-member committee held a press briefing yesterday. This committee drew a picture of the situation in Amhara. What did the committee say? First news story from Somalia. More than 24 hours ago, I did a video. I told you that Turkey was mediating between Ethiopia and Somalia. Some Somali viewers criticized me. They said, Sajid, you just make up stories. You are here for YouTube views. You have no credibility. You make up stories. And you just support Ethiopia. Somalia does not want to talk to Ethiopia. All your news, propaganda, fake, false reporting. My news stories are never propaganda first. Secondly, I could be mistaken, but I don't intentionally mislead others. Sometimes you have to rely on sources. Sources could be mistaken, could be misled themselves too. My sources don't mislead me. My friends in touch with me for years. So they trust me, I trust them. It has been confirmed now that Turkey is mediating between Ethiopia and Somalia. Government of Somalia has changed its position. What was the government's position? When the MOU, controversial MOU between Ethiopia and Somaliland was signed in January, Somalia cut off all communications with Ethiopia. Somalia refused to talk to Ethiopia. Team Abiy tried to call Hassan Sheikh. Hassan Sheikh did not respond. Team Abiy tried to involve Ruto, president of Kenya, Yoweri Museveni, president of Uganda, and Ismail Omar of Djibouti. But Hassan Sheikh did not show any flexibility. He said no talks with Ethiopia. Ethiopia will have to withdraw from the MOU. Only then talks can be had. It has been Somalia's position all along in the last 6 months. That is why Somalia never admitted that it held direct talks with Ethiopia, though I think they held talks in Kenya, indirect talks once. But now it seems that Somalia has officially, publicly, openly changed its position. Why? Because maybe Ethiopia, Somaliland making progress towards implementation of the MOU. Somalia is not left without, it's left with no option but to talk. And by the way, if you remember, I've been saying since January that talk should happen, talk should happen. When I was saying Somalia should talk, people are saying, Sajid, you support Ethiopia. You're against Somalia. Now, what do you say? You criticized me for breaking the news about Turkey mediating between two countries. You criticized me for taking a pro-talks position. Today, Somalia officially confirmed that it has sent a delegation to Turkey. Delegation is led by Minister of Foreign Affairs. The confirmation came from Minister of Foreign Affairs of Somalia. It posted, then it deleted the post, but it did post about its delegation, which has been sent to Turkey for talks with Ethiopia. Confirmed. And in the same post, Somalia says that it would protect its sovereignty, territorial integrity. Who is in charge of this delegation? A hawk hardliner, very critical of Ethiopia, appointed a few months ago, Ahmed Fiki. Ahmed Fiki is known for taking very strong anti-Ethiopia positions. He's the one who called for the start of a holy war to stop Ethiopia. He's the one who announced to engage unionist separatist elements in Somaliland directly. He's the one who's been talking about complete withdrawal of all Ethiopian troops from Somalia. He's the one who has been taking the position. He's leading this delegation. From Ethiopia, obviously, Haile Selassie will lead the delegation. Talks will be held in Turkey, Ankara, reportedly. We'll see where talks are held, but we'll see in coming days what happens now. I said in a video 48 hours ago, I said that Ethiopia would agree to Turkey's mediation. That is what happened. Ethiopia sent a special message to Turkish president a few weeks ago. A former Ethiopian president and Ethiopian Minister of Foreign Affairs went to Turkey to deliver that message. And Ethiopia sent a special message to Amir of Qatar. Amir of Qatar talked to Abiy and Hassan Sheikh on phone. Turkey, Qatar on one page, very close allies. It seems that now both are mediating, you can say. Why does Ethiopia trust Turkey? Because Turkey has huge investments in Ethiopia. Why does it, and Turkey would not like its investments to be in danger in Ethiopia. And I have been saying that if Turkey intervenes, it intervenes in a big way. It has signed a defense pact with Somalia. Turkey does not want to be drawn into this conflict. At the same time, it wants to follow the contents of the defense deal with Somalia. That's a business deal for Turkey. Turkey would get a portion of Somalia's undersea, underwater resources in return for training Somalia's forces. But if a war breaks out between Ethiopia and Somalia, Turkey will have to take sides. It does not want. That is why it wants a solution. It is mediating. That's what happens. But news confirmed that the two sides are meeting. We'll come videos about that. Secondly, there was a newly formed committee to facilitate talks in the Amhara region between Fano and government held its first press briefing yesterday. The press briefing was held at the office of Ethiopian Communication Ministry in Addis Ababa. It does not mean that committee is pro-government. We cannot say that. Committee needed just a venue to hold a press briefing. The venue was the headquarters of Ethiopian Ministry of Communication. There, the committee told the reporters, the journalists, its mandate. Its mandate is not mediation. Its mandate is facilitation. It wants to convince Fano groups and government to talk. Fano groups so far have not jointly responded to this committee's call for entering into talks. But interestingly, what I have been reporting for the last 1 year or so was confirmed by this committee yesterday. The committee was sitting at headquarters of Ethiopian Ministry of Communication. It drew a picture of the devastation, destruction which is happening in Amhara due to the ongoing conflict. People dying, students out of schools, patients without medicines, businesses destroyed, damaged, disrupted, tax collection reduced considerably, and so many other points were mentioned by this committee. Committee has members from the civil society, religious leaders, etc. This is what I have been reporting since last. I've been telling you that situation in Amhara is dire. There is a crisis. People are suffering. There is no solution. And I was accused of supporting Fano. I was accused of exaggerating the conflict in Amhara. And by the way, government also tried to cover up the gravity of the situation in Amhara. Government said nothing is happening. 98% of Amhara under government control. Fano then came up with a counter lie that no, 80%, 90% Amhara under Fano control. Both were lying, definitely. So we have been trying to ensure that you people stay updated with the real picture of the situation in Amhara. And the real picture was drawn yesterday by this committee. There's definitely a crisis. People dying, both sides suffering losses, humanitarian crisis in Amhara. Only solution lies in talks. Has government realized that this is the time to talk? Or has government realized it because it has used all its tactics? Now it is not left with other options. It does not want to use more force. It wants to start dialogue with foreign. Let's see what happens. So far, good start. But committee is just trying to convince Fano to talk. I think now, not a suggestion, but my opinion is that Fano groups should issue a joint statement. They should tell their position. They should, in black and white, issue a list of their demands, how talks should be held. Talks should be held in which country, Ethiopia outside. Who should mediate? What are the preconditions? What are confidence building measures? All that should be announced jointly by Fano groups. It should happen. If it does not happen, Fano groups will lose acceptance in international community. Government is playing its card now in a very smart manner. Government is showing that it is ready to talk. It is backing the committee. Fano is not responding. Fano will have to be diplomatic. It will have to respond. It will have to form a list of its demands, list of negotiators too, and it will have to share a list of preconditions as well. Let's see, can Fano do that? Because you know that Fano is not united. Different Fano groups operating independently, separately. Let's see.